Well, welcome back to Your Carolina. We have a treat for us today on the couch. We have Tasha Cobbs Leonard, the Grammy Award-winning, multi-Grammy Award winner, Stellar Award-winning. Now we can add author to all of those titles, like, as if she was not busy enough. And you have your book out and available for purchase. Mm-hmm. It is called Do It Anyway, Don't Give Up Before It Gets Good.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We're so lucky to have you here because a lot of people, of course, know all the songs that you've put out that people have cried over, prayed over, loved on. And but they may not know that you're here in the upstate.
Wow, truly.
You're a Georgia girl, but tell us kind of the trajectory that landed you here in the upstate.
Absolutely. So my husband and I, we got married in 2017. I was living in Atlanta at the time, but then I became a North Carolina girl. So we moved to Greensboro for a year. And then after that, we received just a message from Pastor John Gray saying, hey, we're starting a church in Greenville. We would love for you guys to be a part. And so we came to Greenville. At the time, it was Relentless Church, now Love Story Church, and we were the worship pastors there for almost 2 years. And after that, we just fell in love with the city. Said, hey, we're going to stay here. We're going to be planted here. We love the upstate, and so we've been here ever since. And now we pastor a church in Spartanburg, South Carolina, called the Purpose Place, and it's just absolutely amazing.
Who doesn't want to go to the Purpose Place? Because that's what we're all trying to find. So let's talk about this book, because you've always been in your life very open with your testimony about depression that you've gone through, becoming a mother, all of that stuff. So talk about how all that coincides to Do It Anyway. And I love that. I've heard the story of what's behind this book, and I think it's one our viewers would love too.
Absolutely. So I felt like it was just time. I'm 42 years old now. I've experienced some life. I believe that, when you hear the music, you get glimpses of the testimony, but not the full story. And I felt like it was time to tell the story behind some of these seasons that I was in during the songs that you hear. And so you'll hear the story about Break Every Chain and, various songs like the album Royalty. My husband and I had just experienced a miscarriage 3 days prior to going into that live recording. And so a lot of people didn't know I was bandaged up. We had gone through IVF and it didn't work, but still had all of the hormones and everything in my body. But I'm standing on a stage literally with my heart broken, questioning my faith, but still God used that album to break so many people through those seasons of darkness and depression that they suffer through. So I had an opportunity to tell a lot of these stories in the book, from childhood up until now. The story that led to that was a story about my dad. In 2013, we were up for the Stellars, my first Stellar Awards. First time singing, I did Break Every Chain for 60 seconds. I was like, hey, we're gonna break chains in 60 seconds. And I looked out in the audience. My dad was an old school pastor, so he didn't leave the church often, but this Sunday he decided to come and be in the audience at the Stellar Awards to watch his baby girl. And so he kept saying, leading up to that, 7 days later would be the Grammys. And he kept saying, Daddy's gonna be with you in Nashville, but Daddy won't be in LA, but I want you to go anyway. He just kept saying, Daddy won't be with you. And I was like, nobody expects you to go to LA. We're doing good to get you in Nashville. And so I tell the story about literally, he stayed up, had us laughing all night. We won 3 Stellar Awards that night, and we were just celebrating. And about 4 o'clock in the morning, he got on the elevator, and I said, hey, Daddy, let me snap a picture with you, because I allowed him to just take all the awards back home with him. So he pulled out one of my Stellars, and he snapped a photo, and that would be the last time that I saw my dad here on earth. But I remember his words ringing in my ear, Daddy wants you to go anyway. And so the premise behind the book is the last lesson that my dad left with me, that sometimes it's gonna get foggy, sometimes you're not gonna understand it, it's gonna be challenging, and your heart may be broken, but dig deep within yourself and do it anyway.
Wow, and that's a message that can go to anyone's life, no matter what you're going through. But and I think people enjoy and respect your honesty and your testimony of saying, I can take that away and apply it to my life, which is really important.
Absolutely. It's a super vulnerable book. I tell a lot about different seasons, and I talk about our blended family. I talk about our son Asher, how we got our miracle boy, and so it's a lot of stories in there. Even back to when I was younger, my mom really cultivating the gift that she saw in me from singing. And so she would take a group of us, me and some of the cousins, they were background singers, and we would just travel up the coast of Georgia, between Georgia and Florida. She would drive us in her Toyota Sequoia. We would all just crowd up in that car. So I talk about that, even that in the book. So it's just some good stories, just good stories and memoirs to help other people. I believe that this book is going to be a tool to help people who may feel stuck, they feel like they're facing hurdles or just keep bumping up against a brick wall and can't break through, I believe this is going to be a tool to help them get up.
Definitely, you can buy this book at any place that books are sold. We hope you would shop local. Fiction Addiction is a great place. And you have a release coming up with the Fiction Addiction. Tell us about that.
Super excited. Fiction Addiction is hosting it at Holland Park Church, and it's in Simpsonville. It's on May 9th. So May 9th, we're going to gather there. And a lot of the people that I just talked about, I haven't shared this with anybody. A lot of times people get influencers to come in and do the interview, but I felt like my family should do it. So my mom's going to be sitting with me. My husband's going to sit with me. Some of our children and some other people that I talk about in the book will come, and they're going to help me tell these stories.
Awesome.
In person. So
that's going to be a time. That's going to be a time.
Yes.
I already got my tickets. Hopefully you guys get your tickets to come and check it out. The website is on your screen, so definitely go and check that out. We'll put it for you at our website, yourcarolina.tv.